Oh, hello, everybody. It is my absolute honour to be here in this community. I am Dr. Niikee'sha, a mystic mentor and spiritual guide. And so when I was approached about my work and if I would like to share and be a part of this community, I sat with it and the guides, and it was like, yeah, it's such a beautiful opportunity to share, I guess, not only more of the work that I do, but also the information that comes through from the higher realms to help support people to remember that we are not our suffering, that we are made of light. We are divine light beings already. And I felt into how, we might best be able to, facilitate on this platform in this way. And the intention, sorry, I'm a little nervous. This is the first time that I've done it on this platform. So the intention I sat with the guys this morning and asked what topic might I be able to share a little bit of a wisdom teaching around first, and then, take a caller or two from the community to see how we can, best support you in that way. The way that I work with the guides is maybe a little bit different to what you're used to, depending on, what you're used to. So how the information comes through for me is in related to where there is energetic disharmony within your field of code. So your subconscious, which gets reflected in your energy. And what these disharmonies are a result of is um, is faulty beliefs that we have about things. Sometimes they can come from our ancestral lines. Sometimes they can come from personal experiences. Sometimes they can come from other timelines. Sometimes they can come from community as well, particularly if we're getting bombarded with stuff in the media. Anyway, what they do is they create imprints that are not in alignment with the true nature of our being. And that true nature, and I love this so much, is of love and light. And to always allow ourselves to come back to remembering that we are love and light as our core essence, that anything else that isn't that is what I call a distortion, or it's a disharmony that's holding some type of illusion. And, that's not to take away from any experience at all. Like, we feel like we are in a lived experience when things are happening. But what is generally the greater reality is that it's happening for our evolution. And there can be patterns that are there ready for us to release. And then sometimes a pattern will continue to repeat to help us to be able to ultimately overcome, that pattern. And so, the work is woven a lot with work with the elements, with different light codes and forms, with, wisdom awarenesses. And, I'd also like to open the field at the beginning of every session. So if you do receive this transmission and you do have a question for the higher realm guides, type it underneath this transmission. And what I'll do is at the beginning of every transmission, I'll go back to questions that have been asked, and we can, ask the guides, things about the greater reality, maybe different constructs, anything at all really that's on your heart. I'm in full trust and faith that who comes to this transmission is who this transmission is for. And, the beautiful caller or two that, we have the opportunity, to share with as well each week in this spot. And so the topic that came up this morning was love and light. And they really encouraged me to share with you that basic premise, that we are love and light. And so I'd like for you just to take a moment and breathe into that. And you might even say to yourself, I am love, I am light. Really allowing yourself to feel that, feel the depth of that awareness. You know, sometimes it's not possible to immediately because there can be layers of experience and all of these things that have us forget that. And so the work that, you know, we facilitate is all about helping to remove those distortions and bringing those patterns to light so that they can be cleared and then reharmonized back to our true state. And I love that so much, our true state. And, you know, which is of that peace and calm. And I know that's really hard to understand sometimes, particularly when there's all sorts of craziness going on around us. But in the greater reality as well is that our outside world is often mirroring either the faulty beliefs that are there, or how we're feeling on the inside as well. And I'm sure you can all relate in a way too. You know, when we're feeling like really chaotic and crazy on the inside, you know, what happens on the outside? Everything and anything, right, that could possibly create more chaos gets magnetized because energy magnetizes itself. That's one of the basic fundamental laws of universal energy, is that it magnetizes itself. And, you know, so when we can allow ourselves to step back from the immediacy of what's happening and sit within our own inner wisdom and ask what's here for us to support our growth, or, you know, what could benefit us to create change. Often the stuff is happening to create change. And then sitting in that beautiful quiet space and tap into your inner knowing, this beautiful inner knowing that we all have. Nobody is separate from that because we are all divine light. We just often forget that. And, you know, it's mostly the doubt and disbelief that keeps us separate from usually trusting our intuition. So I'm pretty sure if you've come to this transmission and you're in this community, that you are intuitive. You know, that's why you know that there is so much more possible than the, you know, the black and white basic, you know, 3D or physical world. And, you know, the biggest hurdle, and I experienced it as well for a long time, you know, before I was able to help clear and all the different layers of disbelief, was me just not trusting it. Like, who, you know, I'm sure you've had that experience. Like, how often do you get this gut feeling about something, and then, you know, all of a sudden your thinking mind tries to take control and talks you out of why that's not logical, and how could you possibly know that? And then all of a sudden, ta-da, you know, you're shown that you're actually right. You know, it used to happen to me all the time, and I used to get so annoyed with myself, and, you know, which, you know, really led me, you know, down the path of discovering more, wanting to know more about the greater reality. And so, you know, I've spent decades, you know, through all the old texts and traditions and all of that sort of thing that, you know, has pretty much walked me into the space to be able to, you know, hold that space in a way where I trust and have faith about the information coming through, because it's not about me, it's actually for the benefit of all. Anyway, that's enough of my babbling for the moment. Do let me know if you have any questions for the higher realm guides, and we're more than happy to get on to share that with you at the beginning of the next transmission. But right now, I have a beautiful caller on the line. Damn it. Jeanette, sorry. It's my accent. Hello, Jeanette.
Hello? Yes.
Hi. Hi. Lovely to have you here live with me on the very first show here in this community.
Oh, hi. Nice to hear your voice.
Yeah, thank you. You too. So, was there anything particularly that you'd like to bring forward, or was there something that we can support you with?
Just like in general, I just want to know.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
In general, you just
In
like
general?
want to know what's going on. Yes.
Yeah, no problem at all. So I'm just going to take a moment just to connect in with your energy. And what I'm being shown is that there is a bit of energetic constriction around your throat. And what it feels like as well is that it's related to a bit of a closing down in your heart. And so it feels like being a beautifully sensitive, I can feel how beautiful and kind and compassionate you are. And sometimes that can be taken advantage of by people who are, sometimes that way inclined for whatever reason. And what can happen is that it causes us to create restriction around the heart. And then when we disconnect or we have a restricted energy flow through our heart for protection, that what it can do is it limits the capacity to be able to share how you truly feel as well. So there's just a holding in of energy. Are you able to relate to that at all?
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just going to take another minute to see. So what I'll get you to do, so your throat is also holding a story that's related to an ancestral pattern. And so what happens with these ancestral patterns is that they are repeated generation after generation. And so it's no one's fault. And what happens is that it's just witnessing of this through the family line is then taken on as that's like a best way kind of to behave or to act in the world, because that's where we learn in the first few years of our life. That's actually where we do take on a lot of our family programming. Interestingly, in the first few years of life, we lack discernment between self and others. And so that's actually where we pick up a lot of family patterns, interestingly, and we take them on, as our own. And so what I'm connecting in with is that it's a maternal line thing. And there's a belief around what you have to say may not be that important. Can you resonate with that?
Yes, that's right.
And so I'll just take another moment. And yeah, so it feels like it started 5 generations ago. And what happened is, like, your great-great-great-great-grandmother came to take on this belief because there was a lot of stress in her environment, and it wasn't really that what she had to say wasn't valued or important. It was the fact that the stress was creating the space that it wasn't possible for what she had to say to be received. And so just breathing into that for a moment. And so do you feel like you'd like to release that pattern now?
Yes. It's just like I feel like my grandma, my grandmother was passed away. It was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I just want to know if she's still with me.
Okay, yes. Yes. So what we can do is, if you'd like, we can untangle that thread, that faulty belief thread, that belief that what you have to say isn't important. Would you like to do that?
Yes.
All right. So what I'll get you to do is imagine that you're turning around and imagine 5 generations of your maternal line standing behind you, and they're all in light. So it's all their light forms. And then seeing a big golden rope. Are you able to connect with that?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'll get you to do is imagine you're grabbing that rope and you're just gently starting to pull it towards you. And it's releasing each of those ancestors from that pattern. It's just releasing the pattern. So the golden rope is the pattern that's not benefiting anybody, because it was a belief that was taken on that was a misperception about what was happening. And so as it gets to your grandmother, she's holding the rope. Are you able to connect with that? Your grandmother in life?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave you now for a moment because she has a message for you. Just opening to receive with your heart. Just breathing into that. Were you able to receive something?
Yes.
Very good. Excellent. And she wants you to know as well that she loves you very much and that she thinks you're making the right decision as well, whatever's sitting there for you. And so now as you continue to pull that cord, pull this pattern, releasing your ancestors from this pattern as well. And as it gets through to your mother to release that, the pattern dissolves. And so I'll just get you to see that golden rope completely dissolving and then bringing your awareness into your throat space. And imagine you're breathing in and out of that space. How's that feeling for you?
I feel better.
Yeah, and so what I'll get you to do for integration work is to every day, just for 5 minutes, imagining a beautiful blue light in your throat and humming. And as you do that, It's going to help to reopen the energy of your throat so that you're more free to speak, and from your beautiful heart space as well. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Thank you, Janet. I've just got Wendy on the line. Hey, Wendy.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, well, thank you. Hey, you sound like me. Have you got an Aussie accent too?
Yeah, I'm from South Carolina. Well, I live in North Carolina, but I'm from South Carolina.
Oh, okay. No, I thought I heard a bit of an Aussie accent there for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't got much time left. Sorry, I wasn't sure how long. I mean, how long's a piece of string, right, when these things are unfolding? But yes, how could we briefly share something with you?
Are you able to connect with people?
Connect with
People that have passed.
No, I don't work in that frequency realm.
Okay, well, whatever you want to tell me. I'm open to it.
Do you have anything going on at the moment that we could share some wisdom around?
I've got a lot of stuff going on. I had a daughter that passed about 10 months ago. I've got a lot of stuff going on.
Okay. I've already got something coming forward for you. So what the guides are showing me is the energy of your solar plexus. And so the solar plexus lives right in the belly. And what it holds is our fire. And sometimes the fire, an internal fire, can dwindle when we are doing things against our will. And so that's even things like people pleasing and doing things that we don't really want to. And what happens when we leak this energy is it leaks the energy of your will. And it's that the will is related to your sense of self, so the self-esteem. And so the more energy we leak, the more difficult it is for us to be able to stand in our own empowerment. Is this resonating with you?
Got a lot of internal issues that I'm trying to heal from. So I spend a lot of time, with just me and my kids, and I kind of try to reflect and kind of. I think I'm healing, but I don't really know if I'm really doing it or not.
Yeah, well, know that you are. Know that you are. And so what the homework for you is for you to come into your solar plexus, so come into your belly. And this is the same for all viewers out there. If anyone can relate to the story, and that's what I love about these sharings with the guides, is they can be translated because so many of us do hold similar patterns. And so Wendy, what will be really useful for you is to every day connect in with the fire in your belly. Have you heard of that term before?
No.
So we have a fire in our belly, and what it is it's our internal fire. And when it is dwindled or small, we doubt ourselves a lot, and it takes away from our purpose as well, really, our mission, because we sit in this feeling of unsureness. And so what will really help you in your reflections is to imagine a fire in your belly. Can you do that? Imagine that there's a little beautiful fire, just a contained fire, not a big burly fire, but just a empowered fire burning within you. And just breathing into that. And as you breathe into it, it's tending to those flames. How's that feeling for you?
Relaxing.
Yeah, and so as you sit with the flames from that space, I want you to spend a bit of time thinking about the gift that you are to so many people. Think about all the beautiful things that you do for others all of the time. And as you do, breathe that into your fire. So it feels like, this self-acknowledgement, allowing yourself to see how much of a gift you are to everybody around you is going to help you to hold more of your own inner fire. And then from that space, be able to trust your decisions, trust your intuition, because I feel that you are intuitive and you do receive information, but there's a doubt around that as well.
Yeah.
Can you resonate with that?
Yeah.
And so sit with the fire, work with the fire for a few weeks, maybe even a month or two. But just sit with it 5 minutes every day at least. So 5 minutes is good. But every day, because what it does is it starts to recode the usual habitual patterns that you have. So if you can sit with your fire every day and allow yourself to reflect how you've been an awesome human to those around you, is really going to help to bring that fire of empowerment, which is then going to help you to trust yourself more and, to do more things that you want to for yourself as well. And hopefully that's helpful. I think I got 10 seconds left to go.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, beautiful Wendy. Wow. Great. All right, beautiful ones. Thank you. It has been an absolute pleasure to be here with you. Don't forget, leave any questions if you'd like the guides to share anything specifically about the greater reality, about anything, and we'll do that at the beginning of the next show. Love you lots. Mwah!